Alright, welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Chechnya. We are expanding north to our first potential sea. Yeah, the Barents Sea. As a nation that has access to the wider oceans of the Earth. Without a bottleneck. So, well, I mean, it's still a bottleneck, right? Because there's one path out and then there's only two spaces from there and then it opens up a little bit, but not great. But this would actually give us a short route straight to this island as well. So we're going mano-a-mano with some remnants of old Russia. I think we're still burning down time. But we need to make these expansions happen quickly. So that looks like it's in July of 2051. About a year. That'll happen. And is Greenland available? Yeah, Greenland is not a part of Europe. So all these islands, potentially, I think. South Africa. Oil and steel, light metals, steel. In significant quantities, though. Those are noteworthy quantities of resources. Faction-wise, what are we looking at here? Mostly NATO bordering us. Ukraine is still bordering us. Uzbekistan is basically a part of Europe, apparently. China. So we're pretty much just going to be in a block of 4 is what's going to happen. It's going to be NATO, the Western Alliance, China, and then the Chechen bloc of the world in the year 2050. So we'll see what we can do for solidifying kind of supply routes from there. Yeah, and we're going to have to operate explicitly out of the Barents Sea. And I think before we attack Europe, we would have to attack NATO to make anything work. Seems like a bad roll of the dice, honestly. But it's really not. Like, I shouldn't have let everything get to this point, but I did. I was just slow to take action and was building things that actually were detrimental. Mostly those early civilian factories, which is normally good in your playthroughs to do, but in this one, not so much because of the lack of population. And I think that's still an issue, actually. I would imagine it is. Maybe even worse than it was before we took over territory. Yep. So we're not taking any, like, populous states right now. So that's definitely hurting us. Alright, we got one more mechanized force coming through. We're going to throw that into that army. Definitely need to add more to others. Need special forces. Need 4 more tanks. This is all a struggle. Are we filling this out first? So it kind of looks like it. I'd be fine getting a Marine division right now. I think we're upgrading. This looks like we're upgrading our primary air force with the 6th gen light air superiority fighter that we have. So that's good. What are we facing here? It looks like a very mechanized force. They have units, so let's check our spacing. So the Volga region isn't going to be that important right now. Yeah, these forward deployed jets are going to get moved to this airfield here. And we'll place them in this Siberia kind of region. And then let's go ahead and get this equipment research. Definitely need. Got more units coming through. More armored personnel unit. We have 8 there. We're short 2 in each of those and 3 in the last one. Bit short. Okay. Yeah, and we just need more ground infantry as well. We've got to make... We have to be able to support borders that are very, very long. Especially with China. Alright, where's that helicopter operator? Yeah, because we have to get the redesigned helicopter storage before we even think about a full super carrier. And I'm gonna say supplies. Alright, we are up to... We're getting more factories, that's good. That is good. Guess we're probably ready to annex Djibouti. I am gonna want to do that pretty quick. Mostly though because I just don't have anything left to build there. So if they are capable of fighting back against our political power and autonomy reduction, I'll lose it, and I'll lose control basically forever. That's the only reason. It's like we've got modern torpedoes. We need to get modern equipment across the board, though. And I think the stealth frigates should be coming around in a year. So those will be pretty close to being done. Wait, what? How close are we to being a major power? We're at 2% right now without reducing our foreign influence. We may need to do that. Okay. Sonar is maxed. That helps out a ton. What's on equipment right now? Not much. So let's get all these launch systems. So we can have guided missile cruisers and frigates and destroyers. Alright, where are we going to put our mechanized spearhead at? To me, the central region for these Air Force units is the flat plains. I'm sure the territory is much more conducive. Well, it's considered forest. This marsh? This is plains up here. Alright, so if we push in the plains, so we'll have them up in this northern section. So this section here will be mechanized forces. I'm actually going to edit the line. I'm going to reduce that down to that. Alright, so we finished all our infantry research. That's good. I have stuff from vehicle, artillery's done, some more naval. Space program is almost completed as well. That'll be good. That should free up resources too, I think. Alright, so we got forces moving into the different regions. We have these ground forces here. But that... See, this looks like it's connected. Like right here. Hard to tell though if it is allowed or not. You know? That's rough. But anyway, we're going to give that army group position along that line right there. They want to fight? So be it. Let's fight. Supply lines. It's probably better if I had some up north, but who knows how that looks. Let's check rail lines. Oh, that's terrible. Well, before we build out these other areas, we're going to have to build up a line right down the middle of the Urals. That'll be the play. And we're going to annex Djibouti. Alright, so we got it. I got kind of unified Chechnya here. Cancel that. Cancel those. Definitely don't need the power. Got a Marine division that finished up. That's nice. Let's go ahead and add that to Marine Command so we don't get eliminated. How do our... They are actually pretty strong. Just by themselves, even. Special operations. Can we have any we're recruiting? I don't even see any. So we are missing 5, 9, 10. Go ahead and add 10. Make one cycle. And somewhere in Georgia. And that is actually a force we do have the ability to reinforce. We have upgraded it, but we have not fully upgraded it. They still don't have mechanized units. Not that I want them right now. I don't think we... Yeah, we're still negative on everything. I'm gonna bump up tanks. Even though that's gonna make our tech metals go negative. And also self-propelled guns. And then construction of rail lines. Alright, so we have primary rail we can follow up into central Kazakhstan right here. And we'll break off from the normal path. Nope. We'll just up that. Up this line. Make a supply hub here. And then we need to go up the Urals directly. So we want to be found kind of going along this line here. And we'll just follow the mountain. All the way to the border. Alright, and then we'll upgrade this entire thing like this. So the whole line is upgraded. And we want a penultimate supply node way up there in the north. And that should be fully supplied, right? So we have 6 going there. A little bit weak in our connection, but it is connected. And we'll bump all that to the highest priority of stuff we need to make. Okay. And we finished the tank powertrain, so we do have things to... Probably modular seating. Surprised the aeronautics facility doesn't have anything to make. 24 days, so 1 week. Pretty close. Yeah. Yeah, that'll give us a line across Kazakhstan into the Russian Ural region. It won't give us good supply hubs yet. We'll have to build off this. Because this line right here is actually okay. This would be a good central hub. And we can build off that supply line along the border. And right here. This will go up to the front. And then we'll feed from this point multiple arteries. Yep. So then we'll have frontline arteries built out. And this will be a hub. We've got a hub here, so we need one here. And then we're going to need a forward force there. And then this side is a little bit more sketch. We want something in that mountain region. Definitely something in that forward area. Right there in the center of that line and this line. And here, definitely want a border rail line that goes across the entire border. We can move troops side to side to different locations. Yep. Probably need a supply hub here. Pushed off that as fast as possible. Most of these, we don't want them direct supplied from any territory adjacent. We want it directly behind a mainline area. I guess we could bump that up even though it doesn't really help. And then what are we missing here? Play a connection this way. Go up to that one. Get a size 6. Running east-west. And then this one can run that whole way. There needs to be one here as well. That way we're feeding the front from these backline arteries. And it's not adjacent flow of materials. Because that's kind of how you get one strike somewhere on the line at a choke point, and then all of this is dead. Alright. Increase taxes on companies. Corporate tax rate changes. Current is 33. Is that this? Yeah, because I want to cut that anyway. Oh, it looks like we finally finished the space program. My god. How many years has it been? 30 years, probably, since we should have had it. Ah, I'm so far behind on that. This is sad. Honestly, pathetic. Pathetic playing. Should have had that right the first time. But can't help it now, it's too late. Definitely gonna need an offensive. Pushing for Krasnoyarsk, or however you say that. But we definitely want to run kind of that region first. Our mechanized forces need to push for that coast. We have to stop them from getting materials in. Alright, so their offensive is just directly to this one. That's all they're doing, is pushing that point on the map. I'm going to imagine that our rail lines are barely close to being done. I pop supply map up. Yeah, so we're getting a lot better supply into the region. That's good. This will be kind of like a slow bleed into that. Because we're building quite a few lines from nothing all the way to max. That's a lot of them. All right, we're gonna bump all those up too because we need them along the entire front. All those supply hubs. And I'm looking at it like the Chinese border needs the same thing, if not more. That's even worse. Oh boy. How are we looking here? Fortress Chechnya. Not built out. Yeah, kind of disappointing how that played out. I didn't really want that to be our border region, but it is. I guess if I had to choose a border though, this is okay. Because if this is a border region and I get this built with a bunch of forts in here, at the very least, they're gonna have a hell of a time fighting all of our special forces and infantry units and pushing them out of those mountains. Is that a rail line that's not... Yeah, how is this a, like, not promoted rail line? This is, that's more crazy than anything else. Does this go to this tile? Where is this tile? We're gonna go ahead and get... If you're connected, you're getting a... You get a rail line. And run through all those hubs. Looks pretty good there. There's not really a backup line behind this forward one here, so we could upgrade this. And gives us a little bit of a direct path to fall back to. Yeah, like that. And like this hugs the mountain on the front. So we can always upgrade that. And yeah, we'll just have another line going along the path, and then everything crossing over can be bigger. This is Grozny, right? Yeah, so that's the main path. We can always split there too. 6, there is a 1. Holy snap, I have another line out that I need. Didn't realize that was there. Why we look. That's a whole path of supply we can have escape. And I'll make a new rail to anywhere. Any of these supply hubs, really. Pulls out a whole nother 40. Yep. Max size. Alright. That'll fix some of Grozny's issues. We've got Chechnya in Africa, Chechnya in Asia, Chechnya in Eurasia, which is our homeland. Mostly Chechen. Alright. So looking at the ledger, population-wise, we're sitting at just under Mexico with 202 million. The Republic of Africa and United States of Europe are well over 1 billion. Indonesia's up there. Where's China? China's not even on the list. What? Oh, they broke the system. Okay, so the United States is more populous because they have India as well. But it's India in the United States now, and China with over 3 billion and approximately 3 billion each. That's crazy. Okay, your factions, GDP wise, we're 6th in the land. We're a little bit more productive than Mexico is for each person. Territory wise, we're getting up there. Industry, Chechnya is 6th in industry at 303 civilian industry now. Military factory is a little more sketched. It's really more important about resources. Naval yards, though. We are not up there. We're kind of in a pack, but we're well behind the leaders by about 1/3 of the required naval yards. Anyway, I think with these battle plans here, we're probably good to end this episode. Thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone on the next one, and y'all have a good one.